Okay, let's continue with some standing fight finishers, which, as we talked about, aren't generally as technical, but they can be faster, and depending on the environment that you're forced to defend yourself in, they can be safer. Remember, a large portion of jiu-jitsu is about ground control because it's so important to real-world self-defense, but that doesn't mean we should neglect the opportunity to finish our opponent in standing. Now, another potential way to choke our attacker that can be standing happens a lot. We've been on the topic of pushes and shoves here, so let's begin with that, but you're going to see this choke again and again as we go along. Basically, when we're talking about self-defense, there's two ways to choke a person: with his material, his jacket, his t-shirt, whatever, or with your bare arms. Now, there's a lot of kind of myths out there that the person has to be wearing a gi in order to choke him. You know, it's kind of ridiculous. It's actually much easier to choke a guy with thin, flexible material here. The problem is it also tends to rip, so you'd have to come to each jiu-jitsu class with a bag full of t-shirts. One of my favorite things is the guys who always want to seem like they're smart, but really are making fools of themselves, are going around saying, well, when's the last time you saw somebody wearing a gi on the street? And then I always have to ask the guy, yeah, you're right, but do you know what gi means? And the guy's like, well, I don't know, gi means clothes. So what the guy is saying is, when's the last time you saw somebody wearing clothes on the street? Well, you know, unless you're in Wreck Beach, which is the local Vancouver nude beach, people are wearing clothes all the time. So remember, he doesn't need a big, thick jiu-jitsu collar, although these kinds of jackets are perfect. He just needs material. And we can do some specialized choking based on different kinds of material, but I want to cover the basics right now and give the idea of what I'm talking about, because it's possible to choke the guy standing in different ways. But if you can't, once again, you put him in a very strong position on the ground where you don't necessarily have to go into full-blown groundwork to begin with. Okay? So whether he's using the one-hand push, I can use that slide and end up catching his arm like this, what I usually refer to as a Russian drag, a Russian arm drag, where my hand is on top as opposed to a regular arm drag here. Or in that middle ground where he's pushing me with two hands, but he's not winding up, I can use my forearm and do the same thing. The whole idea is to get behind him in the same way as we did with the blade of the arm choke. The difference is I'm still controlling his arm, so I'll only be able to choke him with one hand. As long as he's